With respect to the holy light of creation, it's no secret that the benefit of hindsight gives you a considerable advantage when evaluating information. When you know a subject is guilty, it allows you to exclusively look for guilty behavior. The knowledge of outcome highlights the imperatives while stripping away non-essentials, and this allows you to calculate certain things that would otherwise be overlooked by cause of your own doubt. Hindsight is 20/20. In today's case, Arthas Menethil, Crown Prince of Lordaeron and Knight of the Silver Hand, will make a very difficult decision. The outcome is already common knowledge, but it's important to put yourself in his shoes so you may better understand both the reasoning and effects the purging of Stratholme will have on generations to come.
Glad you could make it, Uther.
What Arthas has just done is establish dominance. The only thing Uther can do now is retort, meaning Arthas now has complete control over the flow of their conversation.
Watch your tone with me, boy. You may be the prince, but I'm still your superior as a paladin.
As if I could forget. Listen, Uther. There's something about the plague you should know. Oh no. We're too late. These people have all been infected. They may look fine now, but it's just a matter of time before they turn into the undead.
What?
This entire city must be purged.
What we have just witnessed is intent to commit murder under the guise of mercy. Arthas fully believes the people of Stratholme cannot be cured. Thus, he displays symptoms of both delusional justice and grandeur. In reality, the plague of undeath can be weakened for a time using a sufficient application of holy light. But the fact that Arthas didn't take into consideration there might be another way to halt the spread means he had already made up his mind. It's interesting to witness the mental degradation of a man's psyche in real time. But as you'll come to realize throughout this exchange is that the prince is not the only one at fault.
How can you even consider that? There's got to be some other way.
Damn it, Uther. As your future king, I order you to purge this city.
You are not my king yet, boy. Nor would I obey that command even if you were.
Then I must consider this an act of treason.
Treason? Have you lost your mind, Arthas?
Have I? Lord Uther, by my right of succession and the sovereignty of my crown, I hereby relieve you of your command and suspend your paladins from service.
Arthas, you can't just...
It's done! Those of you who have the will to save this land, follow me. The rest of you, get out of my sight.
Arthas has just removed the only thing that would stand in his way without even giving it a second thought. He justifies exiling Uther and disbanding his paladins under the pretense of treason. Uther is understandably shocked by this sudden turn of events, but if he had been paying attention to the prince's body language and manner of speech, it would have been plain to him that Arthas was not going to be taking no for an answer. The proper response to this outlandish claim, as a holy paladin sworn to protect the innocent, would be to challenge the prince and either force him to reconsider or die defending the lives of the men, women, and children of Stratholme. However, as you'll soon find out, Uther has other plans.
You've just crossed a terrible threshold, Arthas.
Jaina?
I'm sorry, Arthas. I can't watch you do this.
Because Uther and Jaina chose not to act, an entire city was burned to the ground. They tucked their tails in between their legs and condemned Arthas's actions, yet failed to raise a finger against him. One could argue if this makes both of them complicit in the Crown Prince's crimes, but the real question is whether or not the culling was necessary in the first place. A cure for the plague of undeath would not be found until much later, long after Arthas had taken up the mantle of Lich King, and would only work on subjects that had not yet fully transformed. And as we see in the Caverns of Time, when Arthas made it to the gates of Stratholme, people had just begun turning. The city was always going to fall, but this doesn't change the fact that both Uther and Arthas made rash and cowardly decisions under the pressure of genocide. The lesson on morality demonstrated here is something we've all heard before. It's easy to take a life when you remove a person's individuality and lump them together into an amorphous blob of faces. Arthas convinced himself that the only way to save the maximum amount of lives was to end the fight before it even began. He did not consider the ramifications or mental impact such actions would have on both him and his men, nor the fear and anguish of the local populace as their hero and future holy sovereign drove his blade through their hearts. The people of Stratholme were not the only ones that lost their lives that day. PTSD is a powerful and all-consuming force.